Why is Qing Yi called Regret Sister? This is because, when he learned about Shi Hao and Yangtze, the moment of clarification, I realized how foolish my decision to abandon number 10 was. It was so ignorant. Qing Yi was the beauty who got drunk while accompanying the concubine, when Yangtze was stabbed because of the natural tribe, and gradually grew distant from number 10, when Fire Spirit was weakened by his realm, unable to stay by number 10's side. I have Qing Yi, who is free from family constraints, and has the strength to assist Shi Hao in battle. Therefore, the two almost walked hand in hand through the entire Upper Realm chapter. The conquest of the Qing Yi banquet made Qing Yi hopelessly fall in love with Shi Hao. Seeing Shi Hao as the most important thing in her life, her lifelong love and hatred all revolve around him. During the journey of the Eternal Emperor, she rescued Shi Hao's new clothes from Yu Chen's hands, willing to sacrifice herself as a concubine. After the two rushed into the ninth heaven and joined the Heavenly God Academy, Shi Hao was cruelly persecuted by Yuanqin and exiled to the extremely dangerous eternal void of space. Qing Yi once thought Shi Hao would die there. The departure of her beloved deeply damaged her Taoist path. To kill Yuanqing, Qing Yi was even willing to give up herself to help Yu Chen complete the fusion of primary and secondary life, only asking for Yu Chen's promise to avenge Shi Hao. But Yu Chen worried that Qing Yi's unstable emotions would damage the fused body, so he rejected the proposal. Later, with the outbreak of the Border Wilderness War, the repeated assassinations of the Imperial Official Surrender faction, and the departure of the loyal envoy Meng Tianzhen, made Shi Hao's pure heart completely disillusioned, leading him to retire quietly. He only wanted to return to the spiritual haven, Shai Village. Originally, Qing Yi was also going to descend with him, but under the interference of ancient heavenly Tao, she had to reconcile with Yu Chen to achieve the unity of primary and secondary life. During this period, Kanjian Kan and Qingming Immortal Mountain, he bore the slander of bullying the weak, also need to execute number 10, this former standby. So under the intervention of Wuxingshan, who are also competing for the lead, Kenzingxian failed to successfully kill number 10, but planted the Jexian Chong inside his body. Although this pillar won't directly take Shi Hao's life, it will cause his Tao cultivation to dissipate, gradually reducing him to an ordinary person, as his glory and brilliance turn to bubbles. The Taoists who once flattered Shi Hao, the prodigy, all avoided him like the plague. Just when Shi Hao tasted the coldness of human hearts, Yangtze still resolutely stood behind him. Even if it meant breaking with her family, Yangtze insisted on accompanying Shi Hao to Shai Village, since Shi Hao once risked his life to protect her for 100,000 miles. From now on, she would spend her life caring for Shi Hao's remaining years. She began to carefully take care of Shi Hao's daily life, brewing and feeding him medicine. At the farewell on the 10th, the marriage master surprisingly, Zhu Ziju sought absolute separation, allowed to care for the parents of the 10th without regret. All of this was seen by Qin Yining. He once worried his son was dull, too obsessed with cultivation, unable to find a suitable match. However, Yunji's appearance, gentleness and filial piety far exceeded the expectations of her as a mother. Especially Yunji's admiration and care for the son made Qin Yining extremely delighted. Becoming a woman, they deeply understood. In Yunji's shining gaze toward Shi Hao, the burning love hidden was undeniable. Ultimately, through Qin Yining's strong matchmaking, Shi Hao and Yunji entered the marriage hall. Back to Qing Yi's side, his fusion with Yu-Chen lost several decades. When he emerged from seclusion, the era of magic had already arrived. Without the blessing of longevity materials, becoming an immortal in the 9 heavens was almost a luxury. At this time, the New Jade Gate opened. The posture of New Jade was recognized by the New Jade Master, gained the qualification to enter New Jade. But whether it was the beloved student or the former disciple, both were things Qing Yi could not give up. Just having achieved fusion, Qing Yi still held the obsession of Yu-Chen becoming immortal. Under Yu-Chan's lingering influence, Qin Yi tearfully bid farewell to the 10th, embarked on the path to the immortal realm. In the following thousands of years, Qing Yi completely completed the main fusion. He also felt deep guilt for abandoning the 10th back then, feeling extremely remorseful. For this, he kept searching for a way to guide the 10th into the immortal realm. After thousands of years of effort, he successfully obtained decrees from the Aw family and the Pan family, allowed Shi Hao to enter the immortal realm and attend the Peach Blossom Festival. After 1,000 years apart, Din Yi and the 10th were full of longing, but now Din Yi was no longer the same as before, surrounded by descendants of the former king. Flatterers like Ah Chan, faced with hostility from the former king's descendants, he was completely unaffected, immediately boldly declared to the former disciples, Din Yi is my celebrity, a high-profile mutual pursuit. The 10th is the one I want to wait for. The ambiguous relationship between Shi Hao and Qing Yi's servant caused great dissatisfaction among many outstanding figures in the immortal realm, triggering an arena battle. In the end, Shi Hao punched the former king's descendants, stomped on Qing Yi's flatterers, achieved the title of the strongest under competition, also received the Pan King's gift of the Peachwood medicine. As a trophy, this peach gathered the immortal king's immortal path laws. Even mortals who take it can become immortals instantly. Even mortals can become immortals instantly by taking it. After obtaining the immortal kingdom, number 10 carefully and cautiously sealed it inside the jade peak. He knew Qing Yi was wholeheartedly devoted to the Tao. He wanted to give this peach to Qing Yi as a gift for their reunion after a long separation. After everyone left the stage, Shi Hao and Qing Yi finally had the chance to be alone. The two sat together under the peach tree. They started talking about past trivial matters. Qing Yi was concerned about the hardships Shi Hao had endured over the years. He treated Emi Shenku with deep worrying. Have you been all right all these years? Has Kingxian had any accidents? Shi Hao casually answered plainly and sincerely. These years, I have helped the disciples of the world-honored one clear away darkness. The strong in life have also killed the wounded. The brief sentence was like a thunderclap, exploding right beside Qing Yi's ear. His beautiful eyes instantly widened. His red lips opened exaggeratedly. Both feet only calmed down slightly after his chest heaved violently. In disbelief and shock, because Kingxian had been killed, Shi Hao silently nodded, but inside, he was struggling with a fierce battle of conscience. To tell Qing Yi about his marriage to Yangxi. After some hesitation, Shi Hao finally didn't want to keep Qing Yi in the dark. He took a deep breath and revealed the truth. So Lingxi understood the reason, rumbling loudly, like a thunderclap on a clear day, exploded in Qing Yi's mind, tearing away a blank space in his thoughts, instantly losing the ability to think. Moments later, Qing Yi snapped out of his daze. Tears uncontrollably welled up in his eyes. He bit his red lips slightly, looking at Shi Hao with red-rimmed eyes, his voice trembling as he questioned why. The intimate moments he once shared with Shi Hao now felt like burning hot steel needles, piercing sharply into his heart. Shi Hao didn't want to lie, honestly told Qing Yi that back then, I was crippled by Kangxian. Lingxi still played chess with me, never leaving or abandoning me, guarding me through many years of disappearance. No matter what, I cannot betray her. Qing Yi's originally pale delicate face lost the last trace of color. His jade-like hands slowly moved up, pressing hard against his aching chest. Once, he promised to be with Shi Hao for life. But now, because of pursuing the immortal path, he left. Qing Yi struggled to hold back the tears about to burst. Summoning courage, he asked, do you blame me? Shi Hao could only smile faintly and shake his head. When Kingxian forced me, you weren't in the 3,000 states. If you still think of me, you wouldn't abandon me. Yet the sadness in his eyes deepened. But in the end, I gave up on immortal yams. I didn't stay with you through the summer. Saying this, the man in green raised his eyes to the distance. His slowly vacant gaze seemed to regret the past, and to feel sorrow for the present. As time passed, the man in gold's mood improved somewhat. Afterwards, he hurriedly took out a peach of immortality and medicine to offer. But the man in green refused the kind gesture. For a moment, memories, loss and melancholy, a flood of emotions came rushing in. Afterwards, he actually ended up with Yunxi. This fact was hard for the man in green to accept, like a curse swirling in his mind. The joy of reunion after a long separation at the wall, the surprise at number 10's growth in strength, all of it now turned into churning turmoil. He clearly loved number 10 deeply, traveling thousands of years, yet ended up making a wedding dress for someone else. After healing, he regretted his decision even more. If only he hadn't left back then. Maybe sometimes the one who walks down the aisle would have been himself.